was 1914, and A Christmas Carol made a difference. Good morning and welcome to Coffee and the Word. In 1914, European soldiers were engaged in battle, killing one another in the infamous or famous World War I. And as some British soldiers were advancing on the German soldiers, they saw something interesting. They saw in the distance a twinkling light, and they thought for sure it was a trap. And as they advanced closer, they discovered it was not a trap, it was a Christmas tree. And they could see all kinds of festive things on the enemy lines. And then they heard a familiar tune, but didn't hear a familiar words. And the words that they heard were the words of Silent Night in German. And as that song began to be sung, the British soldiers began to set down their weapons. An unofficial ceasefire happened on Christmas Eve. Some soldiers began to sing their version, or the original version, of the song Silent Night. And after they finished, the British soldiers began to sing it in English. And an unofficial, began by soldiers, ceasefire happened all of Christmas Day. Many people have retold this story over the years, and as they retell the story, they all have a similar recounting. And what had happened is these German soldiers who were winning the war at the time decided to call a truce, essentially, in the bravest possible way. They simply began to sing a carol. And British soldiers and German soldiers began to play soccer together, and they exchanged gifts together. And all day on Christmas Day, there was nothing but peace in the trenches where bodies had been strewn about. Silent night, holy night, all is calm. I can't even imagine the power of that moment, of being alive in that moment and realizing that this song about the birth of the Prince of Peace brought about peace. What's interesting about the story is the Pope had been begging generals and leaders to call a truce on Christmas Day, and they refused. So the soldiers called one themselves. And the amount of bravery it took to reach across and shake a hand was far greater than the amount of bravery it took to sling a bullet. And it all started with the singing of this old, famous Christmas carol. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright. As I read that story, I guess I had heard that story many years ago, but I didn't really realize the significance of what had happened. I didn't realize that troops, soldiers, foot soldiers, the ones who go into battle and fight each other, had decided by themselves that they weren't going to kill each other on Christmas Day. They were going to make peace with one another on Christmas Day. And it all starts with this song, Stille Nacht, or Silent Night. I can imagine sitting in that foxhole that night and hearing those words or hearing that tune come across you, and you recognize that this is a song of peace and not of war. You know, one of the things that always perplexes me about how we often view Christianity is it is intended to be what's the word I'm looking for? It's supposed to be this divisive reality. But Christianity is not about divisiveness. Christ did not come to bring divisiveness in the way that we claim he did. He came to bring peace between us and God. And his birth on Christmas, whatever day it was of the year then, his birth on Christmas, the angels decided to come down and declare glad tidings of great joy for all the people. Silent night, holy night, All is calm, all is bright. Round yon virgin, mother and child. You know, I've always loved to hear that song sung. But I think now when I listen to it, I'll realize that that silent night, those silent night words, will remind me of a time when the gospel of Christ Jesus was proclaimed from foxholes and peace reigned, even if only for a day. I hope you have a very Merry Christmas. And I hope that you realize that there is an opportunity to allow the Prince of Peace to have power in your life. If he, through this song, can stop a war between warring countries, I'm quite certain he can give you a silent night in your personal battles. Sleep in heavenly peace, We're going to talk more about this song because I was trying to figure out what song I wanted to end with, and it was a toss up between this one and several others. But this one, when I read the story about World War I knew I had to tell this story because my prayer this Christmas season is that peace reign, because it's the enemy who wants the chaos. It's the enemy who wants to point out our differences and our struggles and our contentious ways. It's God who wants to bring us peace. So silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright. God bless you. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas week. This has been another edition of Coffee and the Word.